So, I mean, Meta basically just said, if people like your ads, I'll spend on them. That's all they're doing. And now it's our job to say, okay, how do we make ads that people like? That also tell a story, that also works with a drama, that also scales, that also gets us more new customers. Like that was the hard part. We did all that. And now this thing is it's now become so stupidly simple for me. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to cut your ad spend in half and quadruple your company, and it's going to look twice as good on Google. Then I'm only going to touch Meta. People are like, what the are you doing over there? I'm like, it doesn't make sense, but just trust me. I'm just pulling weird shit, and it works. I have a client that I've worked with since 2020, 2021, I think, called
Yeah,
Yellow Leaf
literally.
Hammocks. Yeah, if anybody has been following me for years, you'll notice that you'll probably recognize this company. They got a Shark Tank deal.
That's the good news about this too, is you get to kind of see the longevity of these businesses, which I
Yeah,
think is always
well,
awesome. It's not just like a
that's what.
one-off.
Yeah, in 2020. It was like right after COVID started. So this is when right after they got the Shark Tank deal is when we started working with them. Now, Joe and Rachel, good friends of mine, when we sold Solutions 8, they went with Solutions 8 and I introduced them to Frank. And Frank was the person that kept working with them up until last, a few months ago. Frank and I were working together, and I just kind of joined and would help out every now and then, just kind of hop in and be like, hey, I do this, don't do that, I do this, don't do that. And once we started seeing Andromeda come out more and more and more this last year, I was like, you got to get them into creative. Like, if they don't have creative, we're dead in the water. Like, for love of God, please get creative. And they're not doing creative. Even back in December, unfortunately, they moved into Andromeda, which this wasn't running back then, but they had these ads running that were using creative from like, sometimes I was looking through a bunch of these ads they were running, like some were running from like 2022, 2023. Like there was like ads from like way back when that had like dates on them. Like, why? Yeah, August 2023, and that was running in 2025. I'm like, what? And they're like, well, we didn't have creative. This was Q3 of 23. I'm like, why are we doing this? They're just, well, we didn't have anything. So he's like, I'm just regurgitating old stuff. I'm like, you can't do that in Andromeda. They already know what has been run before. So when we look back at this time period here in December 1st to December 31st, ad impressions over zero. Let me just pause this because they have 11,582 ads. They had 187 ads active. Now, I went through and said, that's cute. I'm going to suck out half the ad spend, and I'm now going to run with not 187 in like 7 different campaigns. I'm running with, holy crap, this is slow. I have 19, and actually 19 didn't even get spent. I technically have 8. So I went with 8. So I shut off 100 and basically 89 ads out of 197.
Jeez.
And what I did after that is said, cool, you guys are going to get all the spend. So 100% increase in spend. I went from 2,500, now I'm spending $5,000. So this essentially got all of the ad spend. Now, what happened to the in-platform CPA? Well, it did go down 30%, which is good. And I did see 200% more purchases from 13 to 40. So that's pretty good. So 200% increase in purchases for 100% increase in spend. Mm-hmm. What did the account do? The amount spent, I spent 54% less. And I only spent it in this campaign here. This campaign hasn't started yet. This one just started now. So see how this campaign here is 1% spend difference, but I spent 54% less.
Mm-hmm.
I did this as the 16th.
Yep.
Okay. First week is right here. I want to show you guys how insane all of the rules we thought were normal. I chuck them out the window. First week, 50% spend less. First week, 50% spend less. 50% spend less. I said Google's running PMax. It doesn't need to do anything just yet. So we spend 20% less. I gained 50% more revenue, 80% more revenue in Google Ads, 70% more revenue in Facebook. Media efficiency ratio of the company went up 90%, and the CAC stayed about the same, and I increased the e-commerce conversion rate 26%. But because I took my creative that was getting just a junk engagement, and I turned off everything that did not have a hook rate over 25 because that was just telling me that people that were seeing all of these 180 ads for like the last 3-4 months as this company just tanks into the ground meant nothing to them. So now I took the account total and I increased hook rate 98%. By increasing hook rate 98%, Meta said, congratulations, people. You don't need to give me any additional money. You know what? Take 50% of that money and save it. I'm actually going to give you 5% more new visits with it. So it looks like Meta's rewarding us with new visits, with new creative, with better engagement. That means I was spending twice as much before and I was getting less new visits. When I tell you all that creative is everything, I mean that there is hidden benefits here that we haven't even been able to measure yet, which is, can I get more new customers and new traffic for half the price if I give Meta better creative? Yes, it sounds a lot like Quality Score. So then let's fast forward one more week. Look at this. Okay, I'm still 34% down on my spend. I'm still 3% down. I have now increased the revenue 4x. I am at 200% growth in revenue with a 200% increase in media efficiency ratio with a 50% drop in new customer acquisition and an 88% better e-commerce conversion rate. And by spending 34% less, I now have 25% more new visits.
How, Caden? How? Just rewarding
how?
Rewarding engagement or something. What's the did the CPM change at all?
That's a good question. Let's look at everything. Hook rate, CPM, CPC, all and cost per link click, and CTR, link click,
outbound as well.
Yep, we're gonna do them all. Went up 75% in click through rate.
Oh my god.
The link click through rate went up looks like 100. So click through rate all went up 126%. Site click through rate went up 100%, which is 60%. My cost per click went down 62%. That's the cost per link click. My actual all cost per click went down 65%, went from $1.69 down to now we're 50 cents. Hook rate went up 50%. Purchase ROAS went up 138%. Amount spent 34% less. Cost per result down 20%. Results are now tracking another 25% more purchases. So I ask you all this. A, why the f do you need attribution? That's hilarious. B, spend still dictates more to the top line than anything else, as you can see. And creative is king because Meta is not going to reward you with new users unless you're constantly iterating. I don't know how much more I can prove this to everyone. I went and deleted 190 out of 200 ads and quadrupled the company with 50% less spend. I did it in a week.
I think that's just insane. I don't understand how. I don't understand how that maths out. That's crazy, but it supports the idea of efficiency, but it also supports the meaning that you want to have more engagement to people, and Meta's going to reward you for that. But it also supports the idea that Andromeda is not really going to do it for you.
124% increase in conversion rate, and Facebook up 41,000%. Wow. And I did it with, right? This is the last 7 days. See all this stuff here? 6% customer rate down, 92% more orders, 260% more sales, 41,000% better social sales. Google up 300% now because I just changed Meta. It wasn't email. I can tell you that. Social up this. I mean, green. I mean, green everywhere across the board. And all we did is I deleted 190 of 200 ads because it didn't have a good hook rate. And then boom, hook rate was good. Click the rate was good. CPC dropped. CPM dropped. New users came in, quadrupled the company, all because the other people were doing what for the last 6 months? We're going to test things. You got to wipe shit out. You can't piddly dink with the campaign anymore. It can't be like, let me test 5 ads. It didn't really work. No, wipe out 90% of that account. Like it's the sticky pixel matters. You're not going to wipe out an entire company because you've deleted 5 campaigns. This is my 3rd time this month doing this live with you all. Like I'll do it a 4th time next week. This stuff is completely different, but it's so cool. Like where else can you do this? It's so awesome.
It's crazy because, and this is why I I thought and think still that Meta has the best algorithm just due to sheer volume.
It bought
But
one
the
for 80
fact that
billion.
well, but the fact that it can't like it can't pull spend away of active ads and just say let's not throw anything at that whatsoever and
Right.
just push it all into the high hook rate ads is interesting. I think that part that is something that I'm not really. I don't know why they don't do that. Versus just
I think it's because there's not a barometer. Like Meta doesn't need only high scalable growth. They will spend where they see conversions. We've already fixed that with tracking.
With with edge tag cap imports.
And then they'll spend where the hook rate will go. Well, we've also fixed that by pragmatic ad sets and SOPs with concepts, hook, and offers. So, I mean, Meta basically just said, if people like your ads, I'll spend on them. That's all they're doing. And now it's our job to say, okay, how do we make ads that people like, that also tell a story, that also works with the drama, that also scales, that also gets us more new customers? Like, that was the hard part. We did all that. And now this thing is it's now become so stupidly simple for me. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to cut your ad spend in half and quadruple your company, and it's going to look twice as good on Google. Then I'm only going to touch Meta. People are like, what are you doing over there? I'm like, it doesn't make sense, but just trust me. It's pulling weird shit, and it works. Hey, if you like this video, we have a school community where we have a few hundred members and we cover topics, everything from the basics to all the way to the like hyper crazy advanced stuff that's like coming out next month. So a few hundred members there. We go live twice a week, something with an hour-long education about something that is very relevant to the community that week, plus a weekly Q&A where you just get to come and bring us all of your problems and we solve them one at a time.
So I have a link below in the description if you want to join. And then obviously if you have any questions, feel free to reach out and we can answer those for you. And we'll see you in there.